You're listening to Hey Pal, What's New with John, Alex, and Greg. Hey Pal, What's New is a product of Sack of Sin Entertainment. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Hey Pal, What's New can be found on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all other podcast locations. Or check us out at sackofsin.com or heypalwhatsnew.com. Warning, Hey Pal, What's New contains explicit content. John, Alex, and Greg are a pair of vulgar Gen Xers. If you are easily offended, please stop listening and go download a nice tame podcast like the Multiverse Fancast. You have been warned.
Play with it, Pooh Bear style. Oh, wait, hold on.
Find me an update on Mayor Bass. We just had election day.
Did they?
Yeah, we just had an election day. We did.
Oh, that's right.
It was just election day.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Hey Pal, What's New, but we had election day, and I need to know, was Mayor Bass up for re-election?
Now, I don't think that they would actually get a fish
I mean, if you think
for a goddamn mayor, Jonathan.
Well, maybe he's not mayor anymore.
Maybe he's just I don't know, maybe he's a toll booth operator with Tolly.
He's hanging out with Tolly at the Koi Fair.
That's right. Hey, everybody, it's Hey Pal, What's New? I'm Greg, and that's JohnAlex over there.
We were just looking at a couple of podcasts and a couple of YouTube shows. It's always like people like in just squares looking like a Zoom meeting. It's like, what is this, Brady Bunch podcasting?
Yeah, seriously. It's like some of them don't even try.
No.
Including ourselves. No, actually, we do try.
They get that one guy who just sits there going, oh, I can't wait for until they ask for my opinion.
Yeah. What is that? Yeah, it seems like a fucking Teams meeting.
But we talked about Mayor Bass in like one of the first episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on 2 years now.
I know.
So he's got to be up for re-election. I want to know if Mayor Bass was running for re-election.
I haven't seen a Bass sign, and I do drive by. I do drive by that area where I did see the original one.
Okay.
So I don't know. There's a million of them. If I see one, I'm fucking stealing it.
Oh, you better get two.
It's going up there on the wall.
That's right.
Bass for mayor. But anyway, it's a Sunday night, and yeah, there's not much going on here in the world, but. What's new with you there, Slick Rick?
You know, same shit, different day every week. But this weekend I did go up to Newburgh. That's what I was kind of alluding to before.
And you don't have any bullet holes in you, so that's
God,
good.
No. not that part of Newburgh. I went to the, what is it, like the Newburgh Collectibles and Toy Fair or something like that, because Tolly was there.
Yeah.
With Garden State Picker selling a bunch of his shit.
Nice. How was it?
I said to Justin, I was like, I'm walking in there, I'm like, man, I just feel like this is like hooker heaven. He goes, oh, it used to be.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because you walk in and it's like this tiny little hallway. It's in like, it's supposed to be a convention center, but like what kind of convention would they have there? Like a convention of hookers?
Probably, yeah.
Because there's like 2 conference rooms that they're using and the hallways in the like main lobby.
Uh-huh.
And then you go around to like their ballroom or whatever, which... Holy Jesus. The ceilings are like sagging and all stained.
It looked like a high school fucking ceiling.
There's a guy behind a bar that you can't get to because they've got tables set up in front of the bar, but he's pumping music throughout all the different rooms of it's like soundtracks from video games is what he's fucking playing.
Oh my
and that
God.
room, the back ballroom smelled like piss so bad. I was like, oh my God. I left there and went to a store and I was like, why do I still smell piss?
You know, it's a shame because Newburgh, if you're familiar with that area for all our international listeners, Newburgh, man, I remember one of my girlfriends used to live there with, and it was like, the houses there are like beautiful old brownstones. It's all Section 8. It's all fucking projects and we wouldn't walk out there at night. And that main street looked like the fucking Walking Dead. I'm like, this would be amazing if they gentrified it, but you know,
that's what they're doing to Beacon.
Yeah,
downtown Beacon.
Well, they're doing a lot better with Beacon, but you know, like we always talked about Peekskill, how they changed that place like crazy. I just remember going there. I mean, we're talking like 20 years ago now. Yeah. I used to go there with my ex, and it was just like, yeah, we didn't go.
Well, this isn't even downtown Newburgh. This is like you get off at 84 and like a mile down the road it crosses 17. Yeah, we're going fucking super local.
Yeah,
it crosses 17K and it's like you make a right and the
thing is right there across from this big, beautiful Barnes and Noble. Is this like? I mean, it looks like more of a dump motel than that one in Middletown on the exit by the mall. It's got the big sign by the highway, $69, and you're like
$69
per hour.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those where, it looks like a Taco Bell menu. It's like 69, 89, 109.
Well,
Whoa, this one's got the jacuzzi tub in it. Could you imagine the fucking DNA in that thing?
So yeah, I was hanging out with Justin, which is always fun. We have some fun conversations about stupid shit. He never ceases to make me laugh.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a classic. He's a class act.
And in one of the not to jump ahead on the news, but we almost had a. And Justin's never wrong on these because I forget how we got in the conversation of it. Oh, we were talking about people who are stupid or something like that, and I was like, Billy Connolly was a stand-up comedian, and Justin's like, yeah, it's really sad. He like had like dementia and blah blah blah, and he died again. I was like, wait, what? And really? I had to look it up. And Justin is never wrong about these things. I look up, he's still kicking.
Yeah, well,
he's not doing anything because I guess he had a cancer scare, beat cancer, and then has like really bad Parkinson's. So. So yeah,
it's kind of like when you see they wheel out Tim Curry, like fucking. It's so sad.
No, not Timmy.
I know he'll always be freaking
Frankenfurter,
or freaking Rooster from Annie.
Oh my god, that's right. Or the guy. I'd like them in Clue.
Clue, yeah. I mean, he's
there's a future episode right there. Top 10 Tim Curry films.
There's that joke I think that's on like Facebook or something like that. You can always tell what kind of a person is by what Tim Curry movie they relate to.
Okay,
yeah, If somebody's like, oh, Rocky Horror, you're like, that's right. You just say Tim Curry, and whatever fucking movie comes out of their mouth first, you're like, okay, I know who you are now.
Yeah, you could also tell a little bit about people if they recognize the fact that he was like the big demon in Legend with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, that's
Tim Curry. He was a great Pennywise.
Yeah, he was a good Pennywise too. Yeah. Hello, Georgie. Anyway, yeah. As far as like my weekend goes, I'm trying to think of anything that I did.
Week, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, just working like crazy. Nothing really big just came. I mean, I didn't even have the kids. I mean, this weekend we talk about a bunch of movies and TV that we're going to talk about, and music and all that. But other than that, it was really just trying to think of a witty antidote. I don't have anything.
I'm going to have to watch that trailer later. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that part in the trailers. But why don't we start it off with the little news-a-roo?
Oh, you...
Do it. John, you got any news?
As you can see, top of my list is Billy Connolly is still alive. It's just it.
Thank God.
Thank the gods. I don't know if you heard this. Really sad. Venom 3 has been delayed till 11/24, November of 2020.
Who cares?
Exactly.
I mean, the first Venom movie was okay. Second one, I was like, all right. Nothing really moved the needle with me on Venom. No. I was more like an 80s, maybe early 90s comic book reader, so like Venom kind of passed me by.
All right.
Like I have some Venom comics, but I'm like, yeah, like when they got into the spawn of it all and all that shit, like they kind of lost me.
Yeah.
So I'm a little old school. But yeah, sure, Venom. Okay, cool. As long as it's not that fucking Topher Grace, I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm guessing this is all because in the next piece of news, the SAG-AFTRA strike is over.
Yeah, where's our no Roger, no rerun, no rent?
Oh,
it's over. Thank God, the SAG strike is finally over. So now we're gonna start seeing a flood of
Hollywood people talking about themselves.
Yeah. Oh God, because we needed it.
Timothy Chalamet made that joke on his monologue on Saturday
Night
Live.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were showing me clips before we got on mic about Saturday Night Live. Like, I tapped out SNL. Like who's on it? Like, I don't know.
Well, I know the one guy from Kenan and Kel.
Yeah.
Kenan, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, he's been on it for like a million years.
And the one guy, I'm trying to remember who his wife is somebody famous, the guy who does the news.
Okay.
His wife is somebody really famous. I'll look it up later.
His wife?
Not my wife. Isn't his wife Scarlett Johansson?
No.
I think so. Okay.
ScarJo? Come on.
That's him.
Motherfucker.
And he makes jokes about her all the time on the show.
Oh, my God. Dude.
I know.
Good old Colin Jost, man.
Oh,
wow, tapping at the Black Widow.
that's right.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, he was like third in line after freaking Ryan Reynolds, so.
Sadly, the Marvels is looking at the lowest grossing opening weekend of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
Yeah.
And the even more of a sadder reflection is the fact that it's number one at the box office this weekend, too.
It's just, yeah.
I saw an article. They were like, The Marvels is number one at the box office this weekend. And let's just leave it at that.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the season. I think, definitely the strike, first we got hit with COVID. Now it's like freaking strike. It's, it's delaying everything. So, yeah, I was looking because I was going to go see, you're going to give your review of the Marvels. You saw it. I did not see it yet, but I could care less. Like, when I was coming up here, I actually listened to, because we do keep track of these numbers, and thank you for everybody for listening and downloading and telling your friends and subscribing. There was one episode in our catalog that got a lot of views or downloads, and I'm like, there's like one or two, like Rhode Island Red is a big one, and it's Bussy.
Yeah.
That one, and I was like, why are they, like, I'm going to listen to it.
Isn't that the one where I told the story about my daughter getting my mother in on saying, yo, that's Bussy, which stands for boy pussy?
Yeah. I didn't get to that part, but it was talking about, it oddly enough, it was around the same time last year that we did it. So we talked about Wakanda Forever. And how we were like, we were like, man, Quantum Mania is coming up, though. That looks awesome.
It was not really that.
Time Machine Greg. He went in the multiverse and came back and said, Greg, Quantum Mania? No.
That's going to be a hard pass.
You saw it.
I'll get into that because Kate and I went to go see the Marvels today, and I was talking about how it's been so long since we've had a good Marvel movie, and she's like, well, and I was like, yeah, think about it. I was like, they've been pushing out so much shit, and she goes, well, that's a lot of TV shows. And I go, no, because Doctor Strange and the Multiverse was not good.
That was last year, though, wasn't it?
Right, but I'm saying, like, when was the last time they had a really good Marvel movie?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that was in May.
And what else? They've had, like, out of the last, I don't know, 8 movies.
They haven't really, like, what Marvel movies came out this year?
Not even this year. Since what we knew was like the whole Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
I think everything since the Infinity Saga has been kind of shit.
Yeah. It does seem like we'll get into the TV of it all with the Loki finale, but and it was funny because listening to last year's episode, it was like, it looks like they're trying to right the ship. It's like they still haven't run the ship. And the only reason, let's be honest, Guardians 3 was that good because it was a freaking James Gunn movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the last one. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know with freaking Marvel.
It's
getting weird. But, now that the strike is over, thank God the actors got what they wanted for the most part, and things will be back to normal. So hopefully by next year, we'll have something going on.
Well, don't expect it to include Tom Hiddleston.
What?
Because he's basically alluded to the fact that he is done with the MCU.
Yeah.
No, nothing bad, nothing negative. Not like he's like these fucking people. He's just like, yeah, it's time to go.
He said he's been playing that character for 14 years. Now think about it. That's sweet. I mean, and how many times did Loki die? Not like at least
not
at least
as much
3.
As Sean Bean, but yeah. Sean Bean dies in everything.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it with Tom Hiddleston. He's, we'll get into it with the Loki finale, but like, if they bring him back, it's just gonna be like,
oh yeah,
really? Like it was you. One of the bright spots of Marvel this year was Loki, and we'll get more into detail of it, like I said later. But like, you tied it up nice in a nice bow. Leave him alone.
Yep.
We don't need Loki again. He's been killed 3 times. We'll spoil the shit out of the finale, but yeah, I mean, let him be.
Yeah,
we need something new. We need something fresh. Like Robert Downey Jr. coming back.
like Kelsey Grammer coming back.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that too.
How many times are they gonna fucking tickle my taint with the fucking X-Men? Stop it.
They're slowly. They're doing just the tip for you.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up this news with Peacock. Peacock's got their new, I guess, I don't know if this is just announced or they're just finally kind of like letting it out of the bag. A show called Crystal Lake, which is a prequel series to Friday the 13th.
Didn't they learn from Castle Rock? Like,
no.
Apparently they did not. I mean,
what's really sad is the creators of Hannibal,
okay,
which I didn't watch. I watched like the first couple episodes of Hannibal, and I was like, I don't care.
It was actually really, really good.
All right, that's what Anastasia says.
Yeah,
and it's an A24 thing. So
I will always give love to A24. So, I mean, Crystal Lake, what is it going to be about? Is it Jason in it? Like, is it going to be like? Wouldn't it be funny if they did Camp Crystal Lake and it was like a Meatballs kind of comedy?
Oh, that would be fucking awesome. I'd watch
like
the shit
One
out of
Hot
that.
Wet American Summer type thing.
And they constantly just fucking tease you with that horror music.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what's going on?
Like, what is that? And it's just some kid like trying to blow on a freaking fire. He's like, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, just have a freaking bald-headed freaking
seriously,
inbred like run around. Oh, there's Jason. Anyway.
Or just like, it's the
let's
summer
finger
camp.
bang in the tent.
Maybe it is going to be like one of those summer camp type shows, and you'll just see like, Jason, stop it. Mrs. Voorhees, can you get your son under control?
Oh my God, I would give so much respect.
It's the summer. There's no ice hockey.
I would give so much respect to them if they did something like that,
Oh,
just to fuck with the horror community. We're like, oh, Camp Crystal Lake is gonna be the origins of the, and then it's just like, are you ready for the summer?
Well, you know what? Do you think it's that far from possibility? I mean, they took all these fucking teenage TV shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and turned it into a horror show, basically.
Yeah, just flip it the other way around.
Yeah, flip that shit around.
Make it a fucking spaz. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Oh God, Meatballs! What a great movie. Anyway,
did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
That's Animal House.
Same shit though.
Yeah, Crystal Lake. It was kind of like, all right, well, I'll give Bates prequels to horror movies. You're like, it never just like.
No, Bates Motel, was it any good?
It was really good. Actually,
you know what? You're. I feel like you're selling this Crystal Lake shit.
You know what it is with Bates Motel? It was one of those things where like I think there was like 5 seasons.
Okay.
And it was funny because I watched the first 2 seasons and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. It had that good doctor guy playing Norman Bates. He was perfect for it. He was just a creepy motherfucker. And it kind of got into the whole, like, you don't really know the story of, and you got Vera Farmiga as Mrs. Bates. She's a delight. But what was I going to say? Oh, so I kind of dropped off after it because I was like, I just, it was one of those things where I just didn't care. And then all of a sudden it was like, here's the final season. I was like, cool, I can watch it because, yeah, I know what happens. He becomes Norman Bates. And I watched the last season. It was so good.
Oh.
And I was like, damn, maybe I should go back to those 2 seasons I missed. But, yeah, Vera. I got a thing for Vera. I'm sorry.
You just wanted to bake you cookies and rub your head and tell you it's going to all be all right.
Yep. She's so nice. She's got mommy issues. Anyway.
Who doesn't?
Sure. Yeah, so I think that's it for the old newsaroo, huh?
I hit the button, I swear. Are we?
John, you got any news?
I just gave you the motherfucking news.
That's right. Yeah, so, like you said, it's coming to the end of the year, so we're going to have to do our ranks if we feel like it. Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was just like, we usually do, like, the rank of the movies, TV. I'm like, we could do a TV one, but movies, I'm like, I don't know. I'd really have to think about it.
It's going to be a while.
Music-wise, too, I'm like, I don't know. It's been a weird year, man. Hey, man, it's all good. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do another holiday special this year like we did the first year. That was fun.
Yeah.
We had Mikey Stolper, and we had everybody come in, and presents, and razzleberry dressing. And
razzleberry dressing.
We'll watch freaking The Fat Albert Christmas with Tight Wide Tyrone, and it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be a good time. So what do we want to do? We should do, hold on, I'll do the...
Now, hold on there 1 second here, young fella. I was thinking about maybe the 2 of us get down in the old pickup truck corner and hit one of them movie plexes where we can go sit down and eat a tub of popcorn and
yes, it's that time for some trailers. There was actually some good trailers that came out. I alerted my boy about, well, do you want to go? We can go with the, Ghostbusters dropped that trailer. I mean, what is the name of it?
The Frozen Empire?
Frozen Empire? Yeah, because originally when it was under the name Ghostbusters Firehouse, just as like a, you know how movies will just make a name up or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay. So I keep calling it like Ghostbusters Firehouse, but it's actually this Frozen Empire. I mean, the Afterlife was really good.
It was.
That's one that I pop on. It was like a perfect bit of nostalgia.
And this is more of passing the torch, it looks like.
Yeah. And you got Bill Murray in there, which I'm surprised. He was like the big holdout for years and years and years.
Yeah, we'll see how much he's in it, though.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's just like they got Ray's Occult bookstore, it looks like. You got freaking Winston, who will fucking show up for a pack of cigarettes and a Diet Coke. He don't care.
Well, he's one of the lead guys in that show, Quantum Leap.
Yeah. I mean, he's a great actor, but like for Ghostbusters, he was always like, put me in. I'm fine. Him and Dan Aykroyd have always been like, all right, new Ghostbusters. And
I'm down.
Bill Murray's like, fuck that shit.
Fucking Bill Murray.
But it looks really, really good. It
does.
I mean, you're back in New York. You're back at the firehouse. It looks like, and it's a perfect, like I said, I think it's going to be a good passing of the torch of like.
When does that come out now? Wow, what's wrong with my mic?
I don't think they gave a date of when it's coming out. It's next year.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a summer thing or it might be like October next year. I don't know. We'll have to look.
We'll see.
Yeah, it looks really. I highly recommend anybody who hasn't seen it. We did post it, I believe, on our Facebook page. So
yes, we did.
On the Facebook page, which, by the way, guys, if you're listening to us and you're on the Facebook Live or the YouTube, throw some stars our way, man. Do some super chats, man. Throw us a buck or two. Could you help out a fellow American that's down on his luck? Or
at the very least, lick my taint.
Yeah, of course. I mean, do you really want us to do OnlyFans? No, you don't.
Nobody wants to see this.
But yeah. Check, I mean, in other trailers, I did tell you that they just dropped a new Rebel Moon trailer.
Just dropped it.
Yeah, like on the way here, I was just like, oh, Rebel Moon. Okay, cool.
You watched it while you're driving?
No, I watched it before I left. But the Rebel Moon trailer, you got to check it out.
I will. I'm looking forward to that movie so much.
I can't figure.
I've never looked forward to a movie that I know so little about.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more depth into this trailer.
Okay.
Doesn't give anything away. Like I was watching it, going like, okay, is this the future or is this the present? Are they on Earth? I'm not sure.
An alternate universe.
It is very Zack Snydery. Like he's got his fucking balls all over it, So still don't know what the plot's about. Don't know anything. It's just like kind of Star Wars-ish, a little bit more grounded. This trailer.
We've talked about that. It was something that he had proposed being part of the Star Wars universe, but separate from any of the like main canon stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why would Kathleen Kennedy pick something good? Have you seen that South Park?
No.
Oh my God, they did one recently that was just like, I wish I could quote it, but it's they do this one where the South Park kids come back from an alternate universe, like a woke universe, like Cartman is like a black tranny, and Stan is like Asian. They're all women, and it's just, and like Kathleen Kennedy's just like, like make it gay, make it female, make it gay, make it female, make it gay.
Okay,
it's quite funny if you get a chance to check it out. But yeah, Rebel Moon, man, I'm interested to see it. It comes out next month.
Okay, well, I'll be anxiously anticipating that one.
Yes, with my Winnie the Pooh style.
Yes, I'll be Pooh Bearing it big time. That was the thing I was going to say. My little how my week was. I don't even know if I mentioned the whole Pooh Bear thing.
You did not. No.
I think you and I were talking before the podcast last week about like just walking around Pooh Bear style with just a T-shirt and nothing else.
That's right.
Because I think you were saying like your mom was like there was nobody home. Your girls were not going to be there. It was just you and Manal, and you're like, I was just rocking it Pooh style.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just started doing that to my wife. I would just like get into bed and be like, doo-doo-doo, and she'd like roll over and like, hey, honey, are you not wearing pants? And I go, I'm going to Pooh Bear style.
Yeah. And where's your pants?
I just walk around the house just going like, oh, bother. And she's like, would you stop it?
It's even better when you get like a really tight shirt that's like a half shirt and you can walk around and be like, oh, bother.
I started calling her Eeyore. I'm like, hey, Eeyore, what's going on?
I did get my mom today where right before I was coming here, I was like, I got to take a shower because, oh, wait, hold on. Sauerbraten. Wow.
Stuck that mic right up my ass.
I think if I farted right now, I'd piss my pants. But keep it over there. Jesus Christ.
No, share. I got to share.
I did the old, I was like, man.
Scented candles might ignite the room.
Yes, seriously. This shirt was white a minute ago. Anyway, no, we freaking...
Remind me to tell you that story about my college roommate.
Oh, okay. That was... It's like... well, right before I came here, I did the old swipe test. You know, you do the old rub between the balls. And
Two fingers to the taint.
Yeah, now we do it as swipe test pass. There's swipe test fail. Then there's swipe test mega fail.
Oh, boy.
And it's always my, like, full disclosure, everyone, it's always my left side.
Okay.
That smells worse than the right side.
Yeah.
And, you know, I used to always goof, like, you know, they used to have those ball sprays. I'm like, whose balls smell so bad? Apparently me. Because now I use it constantly.
Well, on Sirius XM, they have a commercial for this, like, deodorant that was created for your ass crack. It's called Lumen. Or Lumi?
Oh, yeah.
They literally they designed it to be used for like ass crack spray.
Let me tell you,
like, it works on everything though.
The Dollar Shave Club one, which I got another brand which sucks, but it's like it's like an aerosol spray.
Yeah.
It makes your balls smell like a candy cane. It's delightful. But anyway, I digress. I go into the shower and I'm like, I got it. Just swipe test fail. It could have been a mega fail. It was close to a mega fail. I was like, all right, I can't freaking go see my boy freaking smell balls. So I go in, and then, of course, as I'm in the shower, my mom comes in to the apartment, and her and Manal are chatting and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is the perfect time. So I wrap a towel around myself, and I do freaking Saturday Night Fever, where he comes out in the freaking underwear.
Yeah.
He's like, Al Pacino, Attica, Attica, Attica. I didn't do it with underwear because I didn't have any. All I had was I just put on a freaking towel and just came out and went, Al Pacino, Attica, Attica, Attica. And my mom's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, Saturday Night Fever? She's like, I used to teach my kids how to do that. So when they were little, like maybe like 5 or 6,
right,
they'd come out of the tub naked, they'd be like, Attica, Attica.
Well, fucking... side related. When Kate and I went to the movies today to go see the fucking Marvels, John Travolta as Santa Claus doing a fucking Capital One commercial in New York City.
What?
And then he goes to the fucking disco and starts dancing on the. Oh my god, you have to find it.
I spent a lot of time in my hair, and you hit it.
Touch it.
You hit my hair. I love that movie just because it was filmed in my old neighborhood.
Well, the only trailer I was adding, and I don't know if this is like in your wheelhouse, but the Netflix live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender, not the blue people.
No.
The kid with the arrow on his head.
Oh, okay.
Based on the anime and that movie that we do not talk about ever.
Not that Shyamalama ding-dong piece of crap.
Yeah.
I never got into it.
I was really into it. I've said before, it was like I had a study hall end of the day, and there was a bunch of students who were in there. We would just sit at one table. Okay. They would sit around the table where I was and be like, can we watch Avatar? And I'm like, sure. I had episodes of it on my computer, but I just put it on.
Yeah.
And we would just watch it, binge watching it every day.
I've been hearing good things about this live action one. Like, it looks really, really good. So the trailer did drop?
It did. Well, it's so funny. They keep doing these fucking teaser trailers. It's a trailer for the trailer.
And the teaser trailers are like 2 minutes. It's like, what's the real trailer? Well, now I love that they do like a 15 to 30 second trailer to say, hey, the teaser trailer's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes we talked about last week. They
had
a
just
15
a bird flying, right?
Yeah, it was a fucking falcon landing on his, on his arm, and it goes 15 seconds. It's like trailer tomorrow. I'm like, okay. And then I watched it. You said it was a teaser trailer. Yeah. It was like 2.5 minutes. I'm like, how is that a teaser? Now I thought the teasers were like a minute, and then the real trailer. It's getting a little ridiculous, everybody. We're trying to do this stuff, and we're excited about doing more stuff. But like some of the shows that I watch, it's like they do, and I've talked about it in the past, where it's like They do out of the theater reaction. Then they do a non-spoiler review. Then they do a spoiler review. Then they have a special. It's like, holy shit, dude. Can we just say it once? That's why we come in. My boy has seen the Marvels. He's going to spoil the fuck out of it. It's only been 2 days. Fuck you. That's all you get. That's all you get.
That's all you get. Well, that's trailers.
Yeah. All right. The trailers. All right, cool. Let's get into
movies or TV. Movies or TV. Movies or TV.
Movies. Yeah, let's do movies because I'm anxious to hear what you thought about the Marvel.
So I thought the Marvels was fun. It was an hour and 44 minutes. I would have liked to see a little bit more, story and world building. But again, I think I'm just spoiled by how much world building we've been getting in the past.
Yeah.
I will say if it wasn't for Kamala Khan, that movie would not be as good as it was. That dynamic with her family and just, the mother who you're going into space. No, and she makes freaking Captain Marvel promise to take care of her and watch after her and make sure she's okay. Yeah. It's just very fun. The story was okay. I mean,
from what I've heard, it's not like reinventing the wheel, which is fine.
No.
Which is fine.
You do fill in some stuff. We get some facts that during the blip, Carol did come back and see Monica while she was dying and had cancer and was like, I'm dying. And she's like, you're going to beat this again. She's like, no, not this time. She came back and saw her.
Oh, okay.
And you see that. So, it grabs you on that. But at the same time, the story is like, okay, where's this going?
Yeah.
I like the scene with the fucking Flurkin cats where they're running around the ship and, the ship is about to be destroyed, the sword.
Yeah.
And they, I guess, Goose has now laid Flurkin eggs all over the fucking sword's ship.
Oh, jeez.
And then they start hatching, and they're like, we don't have enough escape pods for all these people. So they start running around the Flurkins, catching the people in the pocket universe, the Flurkins, so they can throw them on a ship. And they're playing, the song from Cats the musical.
Oh, jeez.
Which was funny.
Yeah, I mean, the first Marvels, Captain Marvel, it was one of those movies that was I think it only did $1 billion back then because it was before Endgame.
Yeah.
So people were like, I want to get as much information out. This one kind of seems the same. It's kind of like homework. All right, I got to see this because I want to see what happens.
I made Kate sit down and watch the Screen Crush, Miss Marvel. What is it? 6 hours and 26 minutes. And he goes through the whole thing, and I was like, "So you got that?" And she's like, "Yeah."
That's why. I mean, Ms. Marvel was one of the Disney Plus shows that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah,
which I didn't think I was. At first, I was like, "It's gonna be not in my age range. It's gonna be teeny bopper, kind of like Scott Pilgrim-ish."
Yeah,
but I mean, I fucking loved it. She's just Kamala Khan is just she's adorable.
Well, and I think it's that relationship we as viewers established with her watching that show that really does help this movie because you get a lot more of that. You get a lot more of her fun and teenager side, coming up with a nickname for the big fucking hammer thing that she's got.
Oh,
the big bad. And I know the big bad girl is she's related to her husband is somebody. I don't know who the fuck it is, but it's somebody in the Marvel universe, I think. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Okay,
but I don't know if you know the story is Carol went back to Hala and destroyed the
Hala.
I said the same thing. I didn't watch it. Not. She went back and destroyed the fucking Annette Bening AI that runs Hala.
Oh, okay.
The supreme being.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
She went and destroyed that, and then the planet fell into civil unrest and polluted the atmosphere, and now their sun is dying. I don't know how the sun dying has anything to do with that because it doesn't. And then this woman is going and utilizing the other bangle, the partner bangle that Kamala has, and opening up portals to these planets that Carol has a relationship with. And in one planet, they're stealing the atmosphere, the air, to have breathable air on Holland. The another one is a planet that's covered mostly in water, so they open up the portal to steal the water from the planet to refill the oceans and stuff on Hala. It's just a lot of that, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's don't care.
I cared more about the other fun stuff that was going on, the relationship building between the three of them. And
I heard that was the best part of the movie is the three of them, and then obviously Ms. Marvel's family is.
And you know what? I they came dangerously close, and I said it during the movie, and Kate was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "Nothing. You wouldn't get it." well, I was like, when they're doing the montage of them like trying to synchronize like how they switch places, and I was just like, girls get it done. And she's like, what? And I was like, nothing.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I think it's something where I want to see it. If I don't, I'll wait till Disney Plus and I'll get the same feeling out of it. I did spoil myself, which I'm sure we're going to spoil it here too, where maybe we'll give it a long one here. Anyway, so I know that you're going to spoil the post-credit scene.
Is it post-credit or mid-credit?
I think it's
I only stayed mid-credit for the Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
Yeah. Now, what are they?
And Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
As Binary.
Binary, yes.
Instead of Maria Rambeau being Binary. It was. I mean, that was fun, but I'm like, that's why I said before, I'm like, I'm done with Marvel tickling my taint with like
X-Men. But it's interesting to find out, like, and they were, I know because the Marvels is not tracking well. We talked about it in the news where it's not doing that well. So they almost did the Black Adam route of like spoiling the mid-credit scene of like, you should go see it because it's got the stuff in it. Like, we all know at this point, like, there's going to be something. Sometimes you get, Hercules at the end of fucking Thor, and you're like, who gives a shit? Or you get like a very vague one. But this one sounded like they're really...
Dude, I will be honest. I enjoyed more the pre-credit scene than I did the mid-credit scene.
What's the pre-credit?
Because like the end is Kamala Khan sitting in a dark apartment, and oh my god, what the fuck is her name? Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop comes in and she pulls a fucking Nick Fury. She's like, Kate Bishop, did you think you were the only one? She like does that whole speech.
Oh, really?
And it was fucking hilarious, but it just shows like what a fun character she is.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you that lighter side. I think Marvel has leaned a little bit too much into being so serious in their shit and have lost a little bit of that levity that we got, like with the, Tony Stark making jokes and Thor making jokes and all those like fun things that we got. I think that's why Thor, not Love and Thunder, Thor Ragnarok did so well because we finally got a little bit of levity in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's a fine line with Marvel to, you don't want them to be too like Love and Thunder jokey.
Right.
But you also don't want it to be like a fucking Zack Snyder, like dark and serious.
Exactly.
So there's a fine line. Like, I like when they throw a little bit of joke into it where it's like, kind of release the tension a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, I don't like Love and Thunder. I saw it once and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, that's all I needed to see it.
I mean, fucking, what a waste of freaking a good villain too.
Oh, I know.
In that, you have freaking Christian Bale as the freaking God Butcher.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's totally wasted. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see it. I don't know if I'll rush out to the theater and see it. I did want to know about the mid-credit scene, and I did hear about the Kate Bishop thing, which is cool because I know they've been teasing like Young Avengers, because you got, talk about Ms. Marvel, you got Kate Bishop, you got Ironheart, you got Shuri as Black Panther, so it'd be interesting to see. They throw a Spider-Man in there, and they're talking about
Miles Morales, maybe.
Ooh, speculate.
Yeah, I'd send us the check when you do it.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I'd want. I don't know if I would want like the Tom Holland Spider-Man to be like. He's not really. He's young, and he could be a young Avenger, but not really. Like, I would like to keep him in the Marvel spotlight, like we talked last week about Echo and Daredevil,
right?
And all those, like, keep him in. The boots to the ground, like New York City street level fucking guys, because he needs to be
more relatable.
No more Tony Stark suits for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like, let him be like that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, like just fighting crime, just with these more street level. Because I would love to see a Daredevil and freaking Spider-Man thing together.
Oh yeah,
and stop with the fucking robot machines.
And I know that Marvel tried to do. They tried to, I think to a degree, they tried to recapture some of that world building with the Marvel TV universe that was originally on what was it, Netflix?
Yes.
When they took like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Daredevil and Punisher and put them together in what was that fucking show? The
Defenders.
Defenders. I think that was an attempt at like a secondary team up kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I know it's in the comics and everything, but like I think they were trying to recapture what they were getting with the films on a TV level. And I just don't. I think they missed the mark on it, and I think this could be a second shot at that will work.
Yeah,
and I almost feel like they should keep it. God, forgive me for saying it. I feel like they should keep that universe more TV than.
Well, what like the Echo and the Daredevil? Yeah, you can keep it TV. You know, you don't have to do like a big old Defenders thing. Like I wanted to see, because Luke Cage and Iron Fist have done the Heroes for Hire, like. Unfortunately, they fucked it up with Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see Luke Cage come back.
But like Kate, my wife did not watch she didn't watch the Miss Marvel series, and she didn't watch the Hawkeye show. She just watches the movies, and she was rewatching movies, and she's like, "Wait, this was a TV show? How am I supposed to know who she is?" Like,
yeah.
And you're getting these people who are like, I think that's what's affecting some of these sales too. Is people are like, well, I don't even know who the fuck she is.
Yeah, I mean, for the people who follow every single thing, but you gotta remember that not everybody does that. So you throw a Kate Bishop in, and people are like, who the fuck's that? Oh, she was in that Hawkeye show. Hawkeye?
And I don't know that the movie did a good enough job explaining, who Kamala Khan is and all that shit to a person who hasn't seen the show.
That could be a problem, yeah. I mean, because we know, and even Monica Rambeau too. Like, well, no, she was.
Well, she does. She says, I went through a witch's fucking barrier and blah 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 blah. It's like,
yeah.
But the layperson who's like not watching these Disney Plus shows are gonna be like, wait, what? I don't get it. What was that? What happened?
Yeah, and I don't think that you got, Captain Marvel, which that movie, like we said, did a bunch, so they know about it, but it's not one of the top tier Marvel movies. No. Then you got Monica Rambeau, who she was in the first Marvels, but then her story got so much better in WandaVision. And then you got Ms. Marvel. If you didn't watch WandaVision or Ms. Marvel or Hawkeye, you're like, I don't fucking know any of these people.
Yeah.
So I like the connectivity of it, but I think they need calm down. Like when we get to the Loki thing, it's like.
I'm going to save my other movies just because we've spent a lot of time on the Marvels.
Yeah.
And I don't need to talk about those other movies. I don't know that anybody really cares about them. But TV-wise...
I do want to watch that one that you have on there.
Yeah, Squaring the Circle. For those who care, Squaring the Circle is a documentary that's on Netflix, and it talks about these two guys, Poe and Storm, who were artists who basically designed every fucking classic rock album cover from and they have Paul McCartney's in the show, in the documentary.
Yeah.
All of the living members of, Pink Floyd and the living members of Led Zeppelin are on it.
Yep.
Even old Pumpkinhead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They're all on there doing interviews. And even one of the Gallaghers from Oasis, because I guess they had, being from the area.
Yeah.
And them.
It's
a very interesting, if you, as a person who was... like we were saying, sat and studied album covers and studied the pictures on the album covers and, what's the meaning? Well, what's that supposed to be? And, you find some of it had fucking nothing to do with anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think for next week, definitely, I'm going to watch.
You watch it and we'll talk about it.
And I want to watch The Killer, which
yes.
That Finchy one.
Yeah.
Which,
chock full of fucking TV references, man. It had me hysterical the whole show.
Yeah, and of course it had your favorite guy on there too that he was listening to. So
yes.
I definitely want to check that out. So okay, let's go to TV because I actually watched.
Did you watch Invincible?
I did.
Did you watch the new one?
Yeah, this Friday's one. Yeah.
Look,
it's not doing anything.
I don't know if you see what I wrote. This is sarcasm. It's so good. I didn't even notice that the episode had ended. And it had started auto-playing season 1 again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, why does this all look familiar? That's how much I don't give a fuck about it right now.
It has to do something. I mean, not having Omni-Man in it, you're kind of like, okay. He's kind of that looming threat that you're like, he might show up at any point in time. Right. The whole Mark thing with with the girl.
The Immortal. And all that. And the girl.
I don't really care. I really don't care. So that was the thing, talking about TV, I was I've watched some new stuff because I need to fill that gap.
Yeah.
I did watch 2 new things.
What'd you watch?
Well, one we could have put in movies, but I watched Sly.
How was it?
It was all right. It was over. No, it was
I don't care enough about Stallone to watch it.
It was interesting for the fact that, and it's kind of tough when it's a documentary done by the actual guy saying, like, this is me and look at me.
This is my life. Look at me.
Look at all the stuff that I do.
Fucking SAG extra strike. I can't talk about myself on shows, so I got to make a movie about myself.
Yeah, and it was cool to see. And we all know the story of Rocky and all that stuff. The only thing that I got from it that I was like, oh, shit, his father was a douchebag.
Oh, was he?
He was, well, his parents were divorced. It was funny because, of course, Frank Stallone's in it. Old Frankie.
Yeah.
You
got Sylvester Stallone and Shirt Tails McGillicuddy.
Yeah, exactly. But then they did something where it was like, they talk about their growing up. 2 things that I found out.
Oh, 2, not just 1, but 2.
2 that I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. One was that his father was just, they got, his parents got divorced and Frank went with the mother and Sly went with the father. And the father was so jealous of Sly. It was like to the point of like, they had horses and he moved to, and it was so funny because you think of Sly Stallone, you think of Italian Stallion, Philadelphia. Yeah. He never really lived in Philly. He was a New Yorker,
right?
And then he moved to Maryland with his dad, and like they had a ranch, and he would get these like shit horses and stuff like that. They had like a ranch, and Sly wanted to learn how to play polo. He's actually a really good polo player.
Weird.
And there was 2 instances where like anytime Sly would do something good, like he would berate him, and like there was one scene where they were playing polo together because like the father's like, I could play polo with you too, and like Sly was winning and he took the fucking hammer and like stabbed it in fucking Sly's back so he fell over and he took his horse away and he was like, and then when he wrote Rocky and he got huge, his father was like, I made a boxing movie too. It's called like Sully, or we're gonna do, and it was just like, dude, stop being so fucking jealous.
Wow,
it was really weird. That, and I didn't know. This shows you how exciting I was watching it. I fell asleep in the middle of it and just popped up, and I was like, oh shit, I missed Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. All right, so we're going to Rocky 5. Okay, I didn't rewind it. I was just like, let's keep watching it.
How much you couldn't care?
No, I couldn't care. I was like, I know this story. But the one thing I didn't know is, in Rocky 5, which is obviously the worst Rocky,
of course,
his actual son did play his son in that movie. He died.
Yeah.
Talk about where's the
God.
that.
I don't know which one I'm playing.
The SOD one.
Your son's dead.
I was like, he talks about, because he has that show, The Family Stallone, and he's got his daughters. They're all freaking smoke shows. And I forgot that, like, his actual son.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Sage, I think his name was, or something like that? Played his son. And then all of a sudden they just show a picture of him, and it's just like, Sage Stallone, 1980, whatever, to 2012. And I'm like, wait, he's fucking dead?
How did he die? How did he die?
The usual prescription overdose. And I was like, holy shit, I totally forgot, A, that his son played his son, and then B, that he's fucking dead.
Oh, Jesus.
Like 10 years ago.
This is my boy on the TV.
He was my son. And they don't, in that documentary, they don't say jack shit. Like, they just show, like, the RIP, and that they don't explain, like, how he died. I had to look it up. I grabbed my phone. I'm like, I was like, no,
he motherfucker die?
He was like 30-something years old.
How'd your parents die? Oh, yeah, she wrote that
pants.
when you were talking about your balls.
Oh. So anyway, that was Sly. I mean, if you like Sly,
I'll pass.
You can watch it if
I'll
you
pass.
want.
I'll pass. I'll pass.
It was so funny because like it would show things where like they talk about Rocky, and then they talk about Rambo, and they talk about, and then like all the other shit movies he did. And they kind of breezed over Copland.
Stop or my mom will shoot.
Yeah, they did talk about Copland, which they did bring up and you blew it. They brought up that part because another interesting, like in that movie, because it was supposed to be like his big comeback,
right?
You know, of like, here's a movie that's not Rocky and Rambo that he's actually really good in, and which he was. Copland is a great movie. Fucking James Mangold before anybody.
It's on
knew
Netflix
James
right now. It was in my suggested.
Oh my God, you have to watch it.
I've watched it.
Yeah, but I also learned that Sly liked to do a lot of improvising.
Okay.
So he was talking about, like, I was in that part where I come in and there's De Niro and we're talking back and forth and he really wasn't getting mad at me. So, like, that whole thing of, like, yeah, so what? Fucking, you know, Superboy's dead, whatever. Like, you know, De Niro's just playing it off. Stallone, all that stuff was improvised where he just kept pushing him until finally freaking De Niro was like, does the famous, you know, you fucking blew it. And he's like, okay, thank you. I got what I wanted. He just, like, so it was cool. Yeah, definitely that. And what did you watch TV-wise? Anything new?
I did, but it's not. I mean, it's a sci-fi show on MGM Plus called Beacon 23 with Lena Headey.
Lena Headey?
Yeah, she's
not to be confused with Lena Fitty.
Or Hedy Lamar. It takes place on a fucking Beacon space station at the edge of space. Lena Headey is the woman who played Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones. Not that you really watched it, but.
Yeah, which I haven't got to yet.
We don't need to talk about that. Let's talk Loki.
Yeah. Oh, one other show that I want to talk about just real quick is I just started watching it because I'm trying to fill that void in my heart.
No.
Did you ever hear this show? It's called Ferry, the series. I started watching it. It's kind of like a dollar store Breaking Bad. It's based in the Netherlands, and it's about this guy. He's kind of. I thought it was Oliver Platt when I first saw him.
Okay,
you know, Oliver Platt.
Yeah.
But it's not because it was like made in some fucking movie. It's apparently a prequel to this other show called Undercover.
Didn't watch that either.
I didn't even know about it either, but they show this thing. Oh, Ferry the series. It's like a prequel of how he becomes this fucking ecstasy king. Like he's trying to sell. You know, he's got this hot wife and he proposes to her and he gets her pregnant and they buy this house and he's like a low level fucking ecstasy dealer.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, it's not really working out. It's just like he's got a couple of young kids that are making it in their house. It was interesting for the fact that, like, when I first started watching it, I was like, wait, they're all talking English. Where is this based out of? It's obviously not. It's not America. It's just weird. But like, apparently, it's a prequel to this show Undercover, which just has like 3 seasons. So I'm like, all right, well, if it's good, I'll watch this Ferry series and then go into Undercover because the guy is, like I said, he's a low level. Ecstasy dealer, and he's trying to sell these pills that they make in their little ecstasy lab, and they're kind of like, and then it finds out that the king of ecstasy, the guy is like fucking supplying all the bikers with their fucking ecstasy. He gets arrested, so they shut down their lab. So
now these guys are
the low guys are like, we're going to take over that business. So he goes to the biker gang, and he goes, look, I can fill that void for you. And they were only selling like at the most like 1,000 pills, like 10,000. And like, so the biker gang goes, all right, in 2 weeks we have it delivered. You have to give us 1 million pills. And he's like, all right, done. And he goes back to his guy and he's like, yeah, we got to do 1 million pills. He's like, we do like 30,000 a week at most. Like,
oh boy.
So they're all trying to figure out like how to get this quote done, but it's actually really good. It's interesting. I think I'll stick with it, but I got through like 2 episodes and I was like, okay, but let's get to the big one, man. The Loki-Rooney.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
The Loki-Rooney. So
I cried.
It really was like, it was really depressing.
Here's what I wrote. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I cried. All he wants is to be with his friend. He's always been scared of being alone,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of like he admits that in this show.
Oh yeah.
And where he is now, I mean, I think we can all kind of relate to feeling like that, not fitting in, and you kind of act the fool to get some attention, and what it's the story of my fucking life.
Sure.
And that's Loki. And where is he now? Now he's all alone.
He's all alone holding up the tree. Which, what color is the time stone?
Green. No, the time stone? Yeah, it was green.
Yeah. Loki, green.
Loki
I was
is
like,
the time stone.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's green because of him. like 'cause he builds that tree and then he wraps. I mean, just that one scene where he's fighting and he grows the horns again and he's pulling all the timelines and he sits on that throne and you're like, oh my God, he did that. Now, yeah, he's truly alone.
Now he's truly alone, and he's
to save
God,
all
he's
his
truly
friends. And he changed everything up, and now it's like the tree as opposed to the straight timeline. And
you know what it also does is it just Kang who?
Yeah, it was a
Now we
good.
can forget about Kang.
It was a good way to get rid of the Kang of it all. So if Jonathan Majors, I think it would be a really smart thing, and I don't know if they did this post Naughty Boy or whatever, but it seems like you said, if you watch Loki, and they just kind of like, all right, well, we're dealing with these variants. Like at the end, like what was it, C-15?
Yeah,
that one
B-15.
girl goes, B-15 goes to Mobius and goes, yeah, we got this other we found this Loki variant. I mean, Kang variant. This other one in the Earth 613 alternative,
right?
Which is the quantum realm, which is Ant-Man Quantumania. So they're like, yeah, he's around, and they're killing him off. But you could easily, because Loki did all this, like you can keep going with Kang Dynasty, or it kind of you just Kang, whatever.
He's done.
It's done. So if they want to get rid of the Kang, they can. I'm not really excited about the whole Kang Dynasty thing.
Oh, me neither.
They can go another route, if they want
I hope
to.
they do.
And it sounds like with the Marvel stuff where they are, they're getting into the X-Men of it all and breaking into those things and the Young Avengers. So, we can see what happens. But, oh my God, it was just so well written and so well executed that it was like, thank God.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with the Moon Knights and the She-Hulks and all this crap, and every once in a while, I mean, Moon Knight I enjoyed.
Well, yeah.
I've enjoyed most of them for the most part, but it wasn't like must see every week.
Right. And it didn't seem like any of them kind of fit together.
Yeah.
And if they did try to fit them together, it felt so forced.
Yeah, and you know what? If it's something where I don't want them to bring Loki back, as tragic as it is.
Yep.
Like he said, he was on that show. He said, I did 14 years of it. He died fucking 3 times. Give Loki a rest. He seemed like at the end he was at peace.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I'm holding up the timelines. Everything's cool. Almost like he died. And, oh, wait, here we go. Got another one? Oh, shit. That's a quacker.
Quack, quack.
Yeah, we're talking about the serious Loki fucking show, and you're like, it's only just for
I got it. I had to. I'll cut it out in post.
No, please don't. Make it as my ringtone. But
maybe that'll be what's in between the warning and the intro and the song.
Yes.
My ass.
Bookend this beautiful podcast with farts. Yeah, I think it's time to give Loki a rest. Let him do his thing. If any of the other TVA things pop up, like if we see a Mobius or something pops in another show, it'd be good.
And you know what? I think with Loki being such a as weird as it sounds, beloved and popular character, the fact that most people are like, you know what, I'm okay with that being it for him.
Yeah.
Because of the way they wrapped it up. I think that cushions the blow for there's no more Iron Man. There's no more Captain America. Like, we're done with all that. We're going to move on to new characters. Move on to, new people playing those roles. I don't just mean recasting. I mean passing the mantle of Captain America to
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson.
You got that, and then, you got Ironheart, or they could even bring in Iron Lad.
Yeah.
I'm still convinced that, like, that little kid from Iron Man 3 that they kind of threw at Endgame at the funeral at the end, he's got to do fucking something.
Well, is he acting still? Hopefully he's good.
Not even. Like, at this point, he was grown up as a teenager. You can recast him and just be like, yeah, that's the kid from Iron Man 3. He built his own suit. We don't, and I enjoyed Ironheart. I thought she was a good character. So they'll bring back. I mean, with Secret Wars, they're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to pull
We hope.
Robert Downey Jr.'s, and they're going to pull out the Chris Evans, and they're going to pull out all the old characters. We're going to throw in some X-Men. It's interesting to think about what they're going to do with X-Men, because they're... All right, so you got Hugh Jackman.
Well, and they tell you it's an alternate universe, so in the post-trailer, in that mid-credit scene...
Either fucking throw me some new X-Men or don't give me it all. Like, you're going to give me a Kelsey Grammer Beast, which is great. You got Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, and Deadpool 3. They're going to have to do something. If they got to recast it, quit throwing the fucking old ones back. I don't know. But yeah. Now it's like trying to fill that void with hopefully ferry the fucking series into it.
With Dragon Tears.
I still have to watch fucking Fear the Walking Dead, which last week, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, it's so bad.
That's good.
So bad.
Thank you for taking that bullet.
It's just, why am I still watching? And this one was like Dwight goes back to fucking his old house and he leaves Sherry again.
Dwight Schrute?
Yeah.
Dwight Schrute.
Old fucking Iron Face, freaking grilled cheese face. And then he has to go back to the sanctuary, and there's new people at the sanctuary, and I'm just like, who the fuck cares? So I'll let you know how that keeps going, but I'm still watching it. I don't know why. The acting is horrible. All the characters I loved are gone, so whatever.
You can see I'm chomping at the bit for that information.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe we should time to go into the other section of the...
Watch the musician from the big rock band. Now he just looks like a big fat ham. It's time for Greg's Music News.
Put it in my dumper. Oh, bother.
Oh, bother. It's a spring zephyr. Anyway, on the music front, really keep it short. Oh, I didn't even add anything to the playlist.
Oh, my God.
Dare
Gregory.
How dare I? Let's just go over the music stuff, Quink. So some new releases. Helmet. We talked about Helmet.
My helmet?
Yes, your Helmet. They finally came out with their full length.
Oh, thank God.
Called Left. I left it in the trash bin because it's not good.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I love the first two Helmet records, Meantime and Betty. This one is just not, it's not catching me at all. Another thing that we saw. The old Maneskin. Not to be confused with Foreskin. Maneskin. They came out with that whole... Oh my God, I have such bad GERD. Rush, Are You Coming? The whole album is out. I haven't really had a chance to listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
But I did like that single. That was the one where I was saying, that single sounds like what the Duran stuff should sound like. You know, like it's very interesting for that fact. But I like them. I'm gonna give that whole thing a listen, but that was pretty much it. The Beatles, those freaking greatest hits albums, they're remastered again. The 1967 to 70 and the 62 to 66. You're like, okay, what are you doing that's different? Yeah, it's been really, really quiet for music. I mean,
it's quiet when you see things like, I don't know, the 2023 mix of The King's Money Talks.
Yeah, or like, there's the Maneskin one, like the Black Crowes have two songs that were from the Southern Harmony Musical Companion album, which is a really, really good album.
Right.
It's got two songs that they just re-released, or they're like ones that weren't on the album. I was like, who fucking cares?
Not me.
REM has a 25th anniversary edition of that album Up.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I looked through it, I'm like, okay, the only song I remember from this album is the song I Am the Lotus. Yeah, that's I'm like, do you really have to fucking do that? Then the band Scream, that we talked about the single, their whole album came out, DC Special, which I'm enjoying Scream. Like, I never really got into them. They were always the Dave Grohl's band before Nirvana kind of shit. And you're like, okay. But they actually have some really, really good songs. Yeah, and then that's really all I saw in there. I don't know if you have any music.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I know that band that I became a little obsessed with for a while, the Dead South.
Yes.
It's like that 4-piece.
Yeah.
They got a new song out, Tiny Wooden Box.
Oh, yeah.
I just dig this kind of. It's a lot of fun music.
It reminds me a lot of Mumford and Sons.
Well, yeah, no, I don't disagree. And
wait, the Toadies have a fucking song?
Yeah, Since You've Been Gone.
Is that a cover of
Since You've Been Gone?
Yeah, I bet you it is.
Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool,
Yeah.
but it
Oh my
was
God,
all
why?
pretend.
The Toadies are
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
badass. I'm sorry. You know, I was going to say with music news, there were two things that came out that I wanted to mention real quick.
Oh, what?
One was Slipknot, the old knot. They got rid of Jay Weinberg.
Why?
They won't say why. They're going in a new direction.
Oh.
And Jay Weinberg, I don't know if you know the whole Jay Weinberg story. Max Weinberg from the
Right.
Max Weinbergs, it's his kid.
Okay.
He's been playing in Slipknot for 10 years. He was a young...
We don't like his pedigree.
Yeah. Well, he's actually... Jay Weinberg is an amazing drummer. He's played in a bunch of different bands. The controversy is that, he's Max Weinberg's kid. So, he was a fan of Slipknot when he was a little kid. Now he was in Slipknot. It was one of those deals. But he actually played in two other bands before Slipknot. One was Madball, which we all know about Madball. They kicked him out in Madball because Jay was like, well, he was really good, but at the same time, like if you know the Madball guys like Freddie Madball and Hoya and all those guys, they kind of live a tough New York hardcore lifestyle of drinking and whatever. Jay Weinberg is a kid that was born in with silver spoon in his mouth. So he's playing in Madball. They're like, he just doesn't really fit. Then he played in that other band Against Me.
Yeah.
And he was in that band and he got kicked out. And the singer, she was just like, he's a fucking piece of shit. Oh. So nobody knows what's going on with that.
Boy.
But he's out. He's out in the, it's a shame because
is it one of these,
Almost been melted bar.
I don't know. I mean, the guys in Slipknot, I'm a fan of the band.
I mean literally like
Almost been melted bar. Someone's grand behind.
I don't know.
Maybe he's a bit of a pervert.
I don't know.
And they're like, we got to distance ourselves from this
Because
guy.
the singer from Against Me, it's a girl that used to be a man.
Right. Or maybe he's just fucking hateful.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody's saying anything. They're just even Slipknot's oh, we're just going in a creative direction. And Jay Weinberg actually posted his response. He was just I had no idea. I got a fucking text saying I was out of the band. What happened?
Wow.
For a huge band like that. And he seemed to be the only guy that could kind of fill those shoes. But we'll see what happens with Slipknot. They're just fucking it's Clown and Corey Taylor. And they're just they're going through fucking members like socks. But,
Jesus.
it's kind of like war now. You put a fucking mask on him, it's oh, he's number 8. Okay. The other thing I saw, which I'm sure you don't really give a shit about, but, one of my favorite bands, Rush.
I saw that.
They were interviewed, and they were saying something of well, we're going to go in the studio, see what we can do. Maybe we'll do. I was like, look.
Great.
Great.
Don't call it Rush.
Don't call it Rush. Call it Lee Lifeson. Do some different stuff. I understand you guys, kind of got. Oh, I farted too.
Oh, delicious.
You can't replace Neil Peart.
No,
you can't.
No, and nor should you try.
No, and if you look at my thing, which I put on the Facebook, was you can write music together, do it, call it Lee Lifeson or Lifeson Lee or whatever, and you can get drummers. And maybe if you play a show, you throw in a Rush song, but don't call it Rush. If they do, I'm still pissed. People are ranting and raving about Pantera. Fuck that shit.
Pantera.
It's not Pantera, guys. I'm sorry. It's great. You get to hear some of the songs. You got 2 out of the 4 members. I get it. It's not fucking Pantera.
Right.
You're going to put Rush in there. It's like fucking Van Halen without Eddie Van Halen. Can we just stop at this point? I get it. The name sells. A brand name sells. Just, Rush went out on their 40th anniversary, didn't make it a big fanfare. We're just yeah, I think we're going to stop touring for a while. Maybe we'll put something out of this. And then Neil died, and then they were all right, we're done. Nobody wants to see a fucking new Rush. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to see
I think
it.
part of the problem is these guys can't handle not being in the spotlight. And
I don't even
not
think
playing music.
I don't think it's the spotlight. It's just a matter of like they want to play music and they want to tour. But like, I get it. Being a musician, like if I don't play shows and tour and make music, I get kind of fucking ornery, right? So, you know, I get it that you know, because one person in the band died, you're like, shit. And then, you know, Alex Lifeson's done some other stuff. There was that other fucking band he was in. I was like, ugh. Getty has been doing like book tours and shit like that. I just fucking do something different, you know? I always go back to Heaven and Hell. When Black Sabbath, when Ozzy left and they put Dio in right before it, they didn't call Black Sabbath again. They called it Heaven and Hell. And they did an album called Heaven and Hell, and everybody was fine, and they did all fucking Sabbath shit. Just keep the legacy alive. But anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
Okay.
That's all I have for music. To quote the great Mike Stolper, eat a dick straight up.
Oh, jeez. Okay, that.
He's the musician from the big rock band. Now he just looks like a big fat ham.
I was going to look something up. I can't remember what I was going to look up. We were talking about something. I was like, I want to look that up.
Matthew Perry's cause of death finally revealed? Or is
that's clickbait.
Oh, clickbait city. Anyway, man,
it's under the sponsors.
Oh. Well, anyway, but I think we did it, man.
Yeah.
We did it. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, give us stars, give us some super chats. The Patreon, like I said, we're going to, you know, the holidays are coming up, so we're going to figure out a schedule, and then 2024, man, Patreon's going to go up. Everything's going to be great in the world. The SAG strike is over. I washed my balls. They smell like candy canes.
Ooh.
So
and you know what I want? Listen, anybody who's listening,
yeah.
Hey pal, what's new at gmail.com. Send us your best Pooh Bear picture.
Yes, do it.